That is not 5 seconds. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
So we need, LaShawn gives us a countdown. She goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, it's not going a little too fast. The Hey podcast on Urban Media today. We have guests in, I keep saying in the studio, we have guests on the show, and we're learning a great deal. Ciora Thomas and her fiance, Aiden James, Nevils, Mateo. I like that name, Mateo.
Thank you.
I like that name. You know, as a matter of fact, I think I was watching The Beauty and the Baker, and one of the guys' name is Mateo. Mateo. And I was like, hey, Mateo. I like that. So I like that name. But welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. This second half, we did 2 halves. Usually we do 4 quarters. So this time we did 2 halves because there's so much information and so many questions that we want to ask. But for this particular half, Jerry has some questions about dating and relationships, correct?
Yeah, dating, things like
before Jerry asks, I need to, because Ciora, you talked about this, the importance, and I actually talked to a friend about pronouns and the importance behind them. So if you or Aiden can just explain to us and our listeners and viewers, what are the pronouns and why they're so important for us to remember that they're important?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we understand that there are different people around us. I think it's like we limit ourselves of education and learning when we don't put ourselves in spaces to learn about different types of humans. There are different types of humans outside of the binary being male and female. And when you start exploring into new gender identities, you have to be aware of other people that might use different pronouns besides what you use. So I know as of late, and all the Zoom calls and stuff we've been having lately because of Rona, and even before that, when we would meet, like have meetings or convenings, the first thing we do before we start is, what's your name, what's your pronouns? This allows for everyone in the room to hold space to let everyone else in the room know what their pronouns, whether it's she, her, hers, whether it's they, them, theirs, whether it's he, him, his, or whatever pronouns they have. And it's up to nobody to police anyone's identity. If somebody hears, oh, I'm a unicorn, that's not your business to tell somebody that they are not feeling like a unicorn or whatever they want to be in that moment. We live in this social construct that has like washed our brains and colonized us as people to only think that there are these binary terms within our communities. But again, I offer education to our communities to educate yourself about our history before we were colonized in America as Black people, and understand that, and understand where trans people were. Like in our history, trans women, non-binary folk were goddesses, healers, providers for the tribes. Like we were like a whole bunch of things that our communities were doing. But again, colonialism erased that and put us in a position of where we are just supposed to be this, we're supposed to be that, and that's that. Wow. So, and I'll end on that. If you want to jump in, Aiden.
I have to be honest because I've been in the meetings and because of the type of work that I do, and I have and I'm sitting there like we do ask people the pronouns and stuff, but when it's difficult for me because I'm a woman of a certain age, but I'm not at all, but I'm a woman of a certain age. But if I'm looking at someone and they look like a female to me, I say she. And so, and this is some type of trainings that I do, and I'll say she. And now I have to learn to ask, like, what do you want? And I still slip up. And I wonder, is that hard for you too? Because if I'm looking at someone and they look like a woman or they look like a male, I'm saying she or he, and they're like, no. I'm like, okay, give me a pass. Like for so long, I mean, you can't expect for people to change just like that.
Did you give you a pass?
Just
I can.
That has to be difficult for anybody. You know, I mean,
I can answer that question. Because so I think that a pass. I don't believe in giving passes. That's just me. And I don't believe. And I would just keep it a buck. I don't give passes because if I walk up, like, and here's for me getting my pronouns correct. When you don't get them correct, it's an act of violence to me. You should just ask. Like, you should just ask. Like, there should be a thing where just like you ask me, hey, what's your name? And I say, oh, my name is this. It should be followed up with what's your pronouns. Now, someone slipping up within that process, like, acknowledge you slipped up. Like, acknowledge and say, hey,
I have no problem with saying I'll say the name of the person because I'm good and I'll remember names. But if I'm referring to something else, I said, well, just like, Aiden said, he said, and I'll say he, and they would have been like, oh, no.
But you want to know what's so interesting about language, though, in this sense, is that we can walk into a bar or a church and say, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? How everybody doing? But when trans people are in this space, it's so hard to say y'all or they or them. So
what's that problem?
A lot of people, so many people. So, like, for me, the equivalence of if somebody walked up to me, and for me, my pronouns are he, him, his, and they, them, theirs. So I'm fine with either. But if somebody were to walk up to me after I tell them that I'm trans and they start to she me, that's the equivalence of you calling me a bitch.
Well, that's being disrespectful. You should be punched in the face.
Yeah.
But that's how I think about the way that pronouns should be used. Is if I walk up to somebody I don't know and I'm like, oh, hey, girl. And I'm talking to somebody and they like, wait, you don't even know me. This ain't no, hey, girl, what's going on? Hey, boo, you don't know me. You need to get to know me. Therefore, you need to respect the pronouns that you ask and what they are.
Well, I'm referring to when you see people and they look like if I say to you, call me he, you're going to look at me and say, no, she's not.
No, I'm going to call you he.
But you, but it,
I don't understand why this is so hard.
Let's be honest. This would be something a little hard. I don't know. Maybe for me, but if I'm looking at someone and I'm seeing you, Ciora, I would never say, hey, boy, or something. You look like a woman to me. So I would say she said because of the way you look to me.
Well, so I'll explain. In our trans communities, we have trans people that pass, and we have people that don't pass. You don't have to medically transition to be transgender. You do not have to be taking estrogen to be transgender. You don't have to be taking T to be transgender, and you don't have to look like a woman or a man to be transgender.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the pronouns that are used. The he and she. Those.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
even if they don't have the look, you still have to respect the pronoun.
Yeah, it's about respect. Like, right. I wouldn't walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, bitch," or "Hey, ho."
No.
Like, I would never do that. I would never do that. I wouldn't want someone to walk up to me and blatantly disrespect me after I've already told you, like Aiden was saying, what my pronouns are, and how I live my life. It's simply about respect. It has nothing to do, like, how I live my life. Don't make anybody pay anybody's bills. It don't make them shit. It don't feed them. It don't do none of that. So I think if people were more invested in themselves and understanding that just people around me are different, and that's okay. And that's not my business until it refers to us getting killed. It should be all of our business. But as far as just like living our lives, like, we should just be able to live our lives and not policing each other in our own community. It's crazy to me how we do that. And again, like we talked about, it's sad to say our church, it has a huge influence on that. A huge influence on that. It teaches our communities, especially our cis het communities, that, again, like I was describing about colonialism, this is how it is, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be. And that's it. So, but I am starting to see, which I'm so grateful for, is churches that are accepting of LGBTQ folk, especially in Pittsburgh too. It's good because it's good for people to connect with their faith. I mean, I'm not a Christian. I don't practice Christianity, but it's good for people to have a space to be able to practice and still be trans or LGBTQ. So,
okay. Thank you for explaining that. Before I guess we'll get to Jerry's questions because I need the basis behind the dumbass questions is because there are people I know ask you dumbass questions.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what I mean? So I'd rather, Jerry, you said you have questions about dating, no?
Yeah, about dating and just, you know, in general about other things. So going back to talking about Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, and their daughter now, Zaya Wade.
She's so cute.
Everyone was, yes, she is really cute. Everyone was giving them criticism, you know, of course. Like, you know, why are you letting it be different? They were saying things like it'd be different if she, you know, was gay or things like that, but she want to, you know, change herself, all these other things. How do you know at a young age what gender you want to change into? Like, how do you know at 12 years old, if you were a boy, you want to be a girl? Like, that's the part that I'm just, it'd be different if it's like, oh, I want to be a tomboy, but I'm still a girl. But how do you know at such a young age you want to change your gender?
Because I can feel it. It's I can't describe it any other way. I can feel it inside of my body. It's not a mental illness. It's not I'm very intelligent. So it's not to be chopped up to a mental illness or anything like that. It's to be chopped up to a gift. To be in a Black family, like this is a gift. So knowing that and feeling that and experiencing that as a child, for me, it was just like I knew. And when I told my mom, because I was born in '88, so back then transgender was not even really a term. We weren't even using that term. We were using just gay or drag queen or transvestite or transsexual, words like that are now offensive as shit. So, and when I first came out to my mom, I identified as being gay, and my mom turned to me. She was like, "I knew," and that went to show me that our parents know they kids. Like, they know they kids, no matter if they have the education around what it is or not. They know their kids. You know your baby.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked because I'm like, well, damn, I've been going through all of this for these last couple years.
Yeah.
You done knew already. And it was just like, it was just mind blowing to me to experience that. But like Aiden said, once you add trans to that, once I was able to find the terminology of how I was feeling, once I saw other women like me, because back in the day, we was on Liberty Avenue downtown. Like on Friday nights, Saturday nights, that's where we worked in the streets. We worked down there. And that's where I got a first chance to meet other trans women, especially Black trans women in Pittsburgh that been here forever, been hustling forever, been like living in this city forever. And we all got the same story. Yeah. We all got the same story. So that's where, and Aiden, can you add something to that? I know you got something.
Yeah. I love how you just know that I got something. Because I be sitting here
I can feel it. I can feel it.
Sitting here.
Smile is just like, that smile is just like,
yeah.
I can never.
You get out of trouble a lot.
No, I don't.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Not around here.
She don't play that. She don't play that. This don't work after a couple months.
Okay. I tried. I tried.
I think I think for me, I knew, and I guess the analogy that I want to use is like when babies are born, they don't even know that they're born. They just start to breathe.
Right.
That's what my identity meant for me. was I just started to just breathe. I just felt fresh air and life and love and liberation in my body. Because when I was a kid, like my mom would be like, you're going to put this dress on. And I'm like, no, I'm not putting a dress on. So I fought her and I would, settle instead of a dress, I put a little skirt on, which the skirts are where it's at for real. So I would put, I would put a skirt on today. They comfortable. Oh, they are real comfortable.
They really are.
Mm-hmm. So I would
put my
they are. So I would put my little skirt on and go and play basketball with my brothers and football and get all scraped up. And she was like, "You're just a tomboy." But the realization for me was and I only have one older brother. I got 2 little sisters. So, when I was born, I was three girls and 1 boy. The realization for me was before I hit puberty. And I would take a shower and I didn't have any body. I didn't have any boobs or nothing like that. And I wrapped my towel around my waist. And I never saw my brother do that before. Because my brother was 4 years older than me. When I'm like 8, he's 12. I can't see that stuff. But I would wrap my towel around me and tie it up like I was hiding something. And my mom is like, you need to hide your chest, baby. And I'm like, these things? Hell, they gonna be everywhere. I don't care. And she was like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, but why not? And she was like, you're a little girl. And I was like, no, ma'am. You're not about to play in my face like that. I know who I am. And I lived in this sorry, he's a mess.
No, so right here waiting. Trust me, you're fine.
The moment he hears me get excited,
waiting for the cue.
The moment he hears me get excited, he's like, Daddy. So for me, the moment that I did research, I was like on some real depressed stuff. And I was trying to figure out why I wasn't happy in life. Yeah. And I tried everything. Like I tried therapy, I tried medication, I tried everything. And my father was like, I tried everything. And my dad was like, you've just never been comfortable ever. Like, what will it take? And I was like 19 when this happened. And I just moved out and I was going to college. And my dad was like, you are just never comfortable. You are so beautiful. You're just not comfortable. You're so shy. You're so caged. Like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, Dad, I'm about to start testosterone. We're going to see what this gives. And the moment that I started to feel affirmed in my gender was the moment that I opened up. And I felt confident. So I feel like I've always known, but I didn't have the language because that education was blocked for me.
And you said your dad's a preacher. What did he say after that?
Yeah,
is he a pastor?
Yeah.
So he used to be a pastor, but now he's a preacher, and he just does it just because it's in his spirit. But when I came out originally as a lesbian, he was like, no, not in my house. But he loved me, and he was like, hey, I have to love you through this. When I came out as trans, he said the most beautiful thing to me I could have ever. He literally said, baby, I want you to be happy. You don't have to live your life to please me. You have to please yourself. And in that moment, I was like, so I'm going to be your son now. He was like, you will always be my child. You will always be my baby. But yes, you are my son. And that was just that. Now he struggled. My family struggled, but now they see how confident and how happy I am and how loved I feel and affirmed. And no matter what happens, they're like, listen, you are son now, so.
Right.
That's that question.
Did you say you a thug now?
No, I said I ain't no thug.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
You're my son.
Listen, this smile here will never get thug.
Okay. It's like, wait, what?
Can't. No.
All right, are we ready to answer some dumbass questions? We got 10 minutes. You ready?
10 minutes.
Yours, like, bring it. All right. Do you have any dumbass? I have them, but maybe we match. You tell me what was a question that someone asked you that you just was like, and I would love to hear your answer.
I got one. Hey.
What?
One dumbass question that we get all the time is, did you have the surgery?
I'm sorry. I was going to ask. Sorry. That's what I was going to ask. Lord.
Why is that considered a dumb question?
So we can cuss on here, right? Like,
not a whole bunch.
I have a bleep.
Not a whole bunch.
Oh, you can bleep it.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm not gonna cuss a whole bunch. The reason why somebody asking me, did you have the surgery? My response is, are you fucking me? If you're not, then don't ask.
Oh, okay.
Then don't ask.
What'd you say earlier, Ciora? That
Thanks,
part.
Aiden.
Okay.
Right there. That's just that on that.
That's just that on that.
Oh, okay. And that bet you they was just like,
Oh.
okay, I'm
Well,
gonna
you know,
thank you. Good talk. Good talk.
I mean, you know, it's kind of like those questions when white people ask black people questions. They be like, you know, you get so tired of hearing it, you just be like, listen, this is my hair.
Yeah.
It's
I
straight
do wash it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do
it's
wash
like,
it. You know?
Or it's like when white people say, "Can I touch your hair?" No.
Hey,
Same thing. Did you have the surgery? Why?
no. Like, get out the stop.
I used to work with the one company. I used to do software, and they tell you I have a couple jobs. I'm booked and busy. That's me. Sorry, sorry, but
I told you, I'm a busy work
do-
person.
I do software. I help pharmacies with their software. So we had a particular person that came up, and we were trying. Now this is with the medical card, and we were trying to get the insurance to go through, and it kept on coming back because what we were doing, we were looking at the person and we were typing in the information, and so we kept typing in mail for the information and it kept knocking it back. And I'm sitting there, I'm doing the software. I'm like, I can't tell you why this keeps sending it back. And it kept sending it back. So I thought, I've been to a training. I know something. And I walked to the counter. I said, can I ask you, what would you like to be called?
Yeah, see, that's growth right there.
Yeah, and it changed it. And I went back to the pharmacist because clearly what we saw was, you know, a male and we were putting female. And so, I mean, and we were putting male in there, but the insurance card hadn't changed. Insurance card still said. So we were there for quite a while, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, like this is my job. What's going on? But when I asked, and that's when the person told me, and I was like, oh, okay, sorry, because the insurance didn't change.
Mm-hmm. And that opens up the doors to, because I know we only got a couple minutes, but so that opens up the doors to Census 2020 and the importance of our trans and non-binary communities being counted in Census 2020. They are not counting our communities at all. They never have. I'm fighting for it at a state level with our commission. Our commissioners are fighting to make that happen. But the federal government have never, ever counted trans people in this country. So that means like we basically do not exist in this world. So even when people were like, oh, Census 2020, get counted. I'm like, I'm not really getting counted. What? And I'm a director of a 501c3 organization. When those funds come out in 2030, we're not getting those funds because we weren't counted to be able to get those funds. So it's just a whole circle of.
Wow. What's another dumb question?
Is my titties real?
I'm sorry?
Or my titties real?
Wow.
People get asked, they ask
reaction. Your response.
What you say, Sean? They what?
That's a legitimate question. I get questions about mine.
Listen, no.
You better welcome to the club. You better be happy they ask you about the.
No, well, when the question in context comes up that I'm transgender, like M to F, male to female, transgender, and they ask me, is my breast real? Are they natural? Are they bags or like whatever? And that again is none of their business. We ain't fucking, so they don't need to see them. So.
I clutch my pearls.
This one's so stupid. Are you going to ever change your mind?
What?
It's on the list.
That was a serious question?
Ever going to change your mind? You're going to just wake up and be like,
Like, nah. No. No.
No. That's not going to happen.
I'm glad we talked about this. Thank you so much for answering these dumb-ass questions. Here's a question that's not dumb. You have some events coming up in the city of Pittsburgh. The City of Pittsburgh Commission on Human Relations, correct?
Correct.
And you have one coming up May 29th, the Gender Awareness in Media. And you have one June 5th, Gender Awareness Pittsburgh. Can you, we only have 5 minutes left, but can you just talk about the importance behind those events?
Yeah, for sure.
Attend and stuff like that.
So the first one for the Gender Awareness for Media, recently Marty Griffith of KDKA Radio misgendered Dr. Rachel Levine several times during that interview. And
that was on purpose.
It was.
He's still talking though.
Right. So the Human Relations Committee or Human Relations Commission reached out to me concerning this issue and helping them to create a curriculum around training for media and also around curriculum for training the public about gender awareness, because it's Gender Awareness Month right now. Gender Awareness Month right now.
Wait, that is good, right?
Huh?
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just
I'm learning. That's totally.
And that highlights all genders of people, and just highlighting who we are as people. But anyway, so that put us in a position. Well, we can start bridging the gaps with media. And how media reports on us, how they report on Black trans women, trans people, like when they put us in jail and they dead name us and misgender us, and you see our dead names on the newspaper and on the news, and they don't understand that that's putting us in danger. When we go back to our communities, we have to face the people that may have watched that news program or read the paper about who we are, and we're already being targeted. So it puts us in a position to train the media and those involved. We just did get a confirmation that KDKA will be a part of this. They will be coming in to learn about this. And with it, also other platforms, news platforms, media platforms. For the public, we want to invite the public to come join this webinar to learn about trans identities. And it's a 90-minute webinar. I really, really, really want our Black people to come learn about this. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing the training, and we're gonna have the commissioners and a couple folks on the panel. But I want all of us to come out and take part of this. But I really want our Black folks to come learn this education.
Is this something that you can ask the NAACP, or is that an organization that you need to still convince to jump on board? You can say it.
As far as I know, the NAACP ain't been too inclusive of Black trans people. And I don't see any representation of us.
I don't in the NAACP because still colored people. It's it's for all colored people. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, lesbian, trans. You're still a colored person, and that's probably what you were referring to earlier, like not being inclusive, with other organizations. You have to force yourself to go into the white communities to get, support and stuff. So that's not cool. I don't that at all.
I mean, I know the president,
So
let me call him or whatever, and I'll let him, I'm
make a phone call, sis. Make a phone call.
Let me call him out. Let me call Kenneth.
Ken.
Pittsburgh Pride Fest. You also
don't go to that. If you're Black, don't go to that.
You said don't. Why?
Do not go to Pittsburgh Pride Fest. Yeah.
Right.
Pittsburgh Pride Fest. The Delta Foundation of Pittsburgh has been robbing and stealing from our communities forever. The president, Gary Van Horn, who was the president, he recently got kicked off the board because it went public.
What happened?
Because it went public of the stuff he was doing. His vice president, Dr. Stacey Lane, please do not trust her either. She was his right-hand woman. She has also been doing harm to our trans communities in Pittsburgh, specifically our Black trans community. So don't believe the smoke and mirrors that this lady is showing y'all. She be harassing Black people all over Facebook, all over social media. She called us a crabs in a barrel. And there's proof of this. So if that's your friend, check your friend. But don't go to that. That's not for us. We have People's Pride. My organization, our organizers, organized People's Pride. Pride was historically ran by Black trans people and Black trans women. We're doing the work to make sure Pride happened from New York to all the way around this country. Mm-hmm. And that's what we embody. We embody Blackness, brownness, queerness, bringing our families. It's like a cookout. That's how we do. We march and then we go to the park and we have like a cookout with our entertainment headliners, and we bring our headliners in. We had Big Frida last year.
You already know, I love Big Frida.
Yes. And it went really, really great. We're hoping to still keep doing it this year, but Rona is acting up. Yeah. We had to change the date until a fall date in October. Okay. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Please let me know. Let me know, and we'll definitely spread the word. We'll let me know. We'll let you know. I mean, let me know, and we'll spread it. I will. Thank you both for being on the show. We're down to just the last few minutes. Ciora Thomas and Mateo. Aiden James Nevils.
That's to get in trouble. When you hear that whole Aiden James Neville, get your butt over here.
Aiden James.
How can we reach you? So people who are listening or watching the video, they have questions. How can they reach you?
They can go to www.sisterspgh.com. They can call us at 412-297-0548. They can hit our email at info@sisterspgh.org. They can hit Aiden up, www.sisterspgh.com/brotherspgh, capital T. And yeah, we're available on our Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter. I'm usually responsive. Ada's usually responsive. So.
And we'll definitely have the links on this Radio Chick Rocks and urbanmediatoday.com. Thank you both for being on the show. Thank you so much. I learned a great deal. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Jerry, you ready? This is Jerry's turn.
So
Jerry's like, huh?
I'm like, wait, what? So to catch up on past episodes of our Hey Girl, Hey podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I was about to say LinkedIn, y'all. I'm gonna say LinkedIn.
You're like on Match, Black People Meet.
Match.com, no. Live 55, tune in, and urbanmediatoday.com.
LaShawn.
And on Instagram, you can find us at Hey Girl Hey Podcast 2018, on Facebook, the Hey Girl Hey Podcast, and on Twitter, Girl Hey 2018. Or you can email us at the Hey Girl Hey Podcast @gmail.com. Or you can call us at 412-709-6130.
Thank you so much. This is the Hey Girl Hey podcast. I'm your radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I am the chatter chick, LaShawn Tipton.
And I'm your millennial chick, Jerry Tipton.
Thank you guys so much. We have chick names usually. I don't know what to.
Yes. Wait a minute, we gotta get a chick name.
I know.
I'll take it.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm gonna do for next time. So at the end of the show, we always give our guests chick names. Of course, for the men, you cannot have a chick name.
You can't have a chick name.
You have a chick name.
Let's see.
Let me see. What could we say, Ciora? I like sassy.
Yeah.
Ciora is definitely the sassy chick.
Sassy chick.
Definitely.
What you got, Ciora? You want to give yourself a chick name?
I like sassy.
You like sassy?
Did you say sassy?
That'll work.
All right.
Sassy chick.
Sassy.
Aiden, you got to work on that smile so you can get out of trouble, man.
It ain't gonna happen.
James Neville.
It's the Hater Hate podcast on Urban Media today.